over. So it never works out. So we keep them at my house.
Yeah.
And
That's
she
why
has
That's your treat at grandma's.
I haven't even opened my mat back yet. So how is everybody feeling? I heard hips were wonderful after Monday. Please repeat. What else? How are you doing, Susan?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing therapy on my hips, so I'm a little sore today because
Okay.
they really worked on them yesterday or something. So I feel better, but I can definitely feel a soreness.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Are you noticing a big difference as they're working on it?
Yeah, it's kind of been coming and going, and I'm not, as far as the mobility, the million-year-old problem. Same with that, it kind of comes and goes. It's a little better than it was.
Okay. I almost want to try something with everybody tonight, but will be hip related. Grab your stuff there, Shannon. Has everybody met Michael yet?
Hi.
Michael, Shannon, Megan,
Hi,
Terry,
Michael.
and Susan.
Or maybe I did. Maybe I did.
I met him when I first came in.
Yeah. Great. Let's start on the back. And actually, no, wait. That crackle pop already. Ooh, yeah. Oh, I know what we did Monday night. That was very different. Alright. So just breathing into the waist to begin with. And sits bones come together, pelvis gets very small. Waist gets very small, rib cage gets very small, and exhale. Inhale into the waist. And exhale, sits bones come together, pelvis gets very small, waist gets very small, rib cage gets very small.
So when you say waist, is it your tummy, like your abdomen, or is it actually the waist?
The whole waist, you want to draw the whole thing in close to the spine. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And inhale into the waist, and the waist gets really round. Particularly in the back. The back of the waist is what doesn't like to open up. And that's where your quadratus lumborum lives. Quadratus lumborum is a big, broad muscle. Exhale. And it's a mover. And so if it gets really gripped down, like it's trying to stabilize the spine for you, it will get it will cause problems on that lower back. So as you're breathing into that waist, think about those posterior flanks there on either side getting stretched by that breath. And the front of that lumbar spine gets a good massage. And exhale, the sits bones come together, the pelvic ring gets very small, the waist gets very small, the rib cage gets very small. And hands at the sides of the ribs. And inhale, make the rib cage into a big round circle. And exhale, sits bones come together, pelvis gets very small, waist gets very small, rib cage gets very small. Inhale into the rib cage. And exhale, sits bones come together, pelvis gets small, waist gets small, rib cage gets small. Exhale, 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 exhale. And one more time, inhale into the rib cage. And exhale, sits bones come together, pelvis, waist, ribs. And inhale, just relax everything. Wavy gravy here. Inhale into the waist. Hold your breath. Sits bones are going to come together. And then the waist is going to get small. Holding your breath. That comes up and your rib cage gets big. Back down to your waist. And relax. And inhale into the waist. Hold the breath. And the sits bones come together. Pelvic ring gets very small, waist gets small, you're holding your breath, and all of that that you just expanded goes up to the ribs, and the ribs get big. Back down to the waist. And relax. And into the rib cage. Hold the breath. The rib cage gets very small, sternum drops down, and the waist gets big. Then the waist gets small, pelvis gets small, and it goes up to the rib cage. And relax. And inhale into the rib cage. Hold the breath. And the rib cage gets small while the waist gets big. Sits bones come together, pelvis gets small, waist gets small, rib cage gets big. And relax. And from here, go ahead and reach your fingertips up to the ceiling. Try and touch the ceiling. Shoulder blades back down. And reach to the ceiling. Shoulder blades back down. Reach to the ceiling. Inhale into that space between the shoulder blades. And shoulder blades come back down. And reach to the ceiling. Inhale into that space between the shoulder blades. Give yourself a big hug. Exhale, upper body curl. Roll it back down. And switch the arm that's on top. And exhale, upper body curl. Rolling it back down. Rest your arms down by your sides. And reach your right heel to the ceiling. And circle that ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Reverse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Really reach. Spread your toes out. Squeeze them together. Spread them out. Squeeze them together. Big toe up. Baby toes down. And switch. And switch. And switch. Reach the foot one more time. And place that foot down. Reach your left heel to the ceiling. Circle the ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And spread your toes out. Squeeze them together. Spread them out. Squeeze them together. Big toe up, baby toes down. And change. And change. And change. Reach that heel to the ceiling one more time. And place that foot down. All right. From here, go ahead, press all 4 corners of the feet into the mat. Reach that soft spot in the foot into the mat like you're standing in stirrups. Try to pull the heel away from the floor, the ball of the foot away from the floor while the middle of the foot is reaching to the floor. And that continues to reach, and you're trying to get that down. Build that pressure very gently into the bottom of that foot, that soft spot. Feel what's happening in that pelvis as you do. And rest. From here, let's roll down through the spine, going into that 12 o'clock on the pelvis. So each vertebrae presses down to the mat until the tailbone reaches up towards your knees. And then 6 o'clock. And roll back down through to 12 o'clock. And 6 o'clock. And now going a little quicker, and we go 12 and 6. 12 and 6, very gentle. How little muscle energy can you use to make that gentle movement happen? And the spine just keeps getting longer as you go. 12 and 6, 12 and 6, and 12 and 6. 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, so the right hip bone comes down, the left hip bone comes straight to the ceiling, and opposite side. And right hip bone down, left up, left down, right up, right down, left up, left down, right up. Right goes down, left goes straight to the ceiling. Now, reach that knee towards the left toes. Feel that pressure into the bottom of that foot there. And
Center of
return
the
to,
foot, to the center of the foot.
yes. And come back to center. And now the left hip bone goes down and the right knee reaches up and the knee reaches forward. So that right waist gets longer. Both knees are still pointing to the ceiling. And switch, right hip bone down, left knee reaches. Left hip bone down, right knee reaches. And back to center. Now from here, I want you to put most of the weight on the heel of your feet. Feel what happens at your hips. And now place most of the weight onto the balls of the feet. The heel can still be down, but most of the weight, most of the pressure is into the ball of the feet. Feel what happens at your hips. And most of the weight into the heels. Give it a chance to change and let the pressure of your feet turn on the muscles that are necessary. So it's not like you're trying to engage any muscle. Sorry, Mom, I'll call you back. Most of the weight onto the balls of the feet. Can you feel that change?
I feel like it's the pelvis.
Yes, at the pelvis, yes. There's lots of changes that happen at the pelvis as you go back and forth. So notice if you go to the heels, that your knees tend to open out just a little bit. And as you go to the balls of the feet, they tend to turn in slightly. Are you all finding that?
Yeah.
Keep going back and forth. Heels. And balls of the feet. Now, keep your left foot on the ball. Take your right foot to the heel. Place your hands on your pelvis. Notice that that tends to take you more towards like a 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And now switch. Ball of the right foot, heel of the left, and now you're a little bit more towards 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Y'all finding that?
Yep.
And switch. Here's your walking pattern. Heel strike on the right now. Push off with the left. And switch. I think this is what made those hips feel so good the other day. Megan. I'm excited. And switch. And switch. And rest. Good, open the knees out, bring the bottoms of the feet together. Put the bottom of the baby toes down on the mat. So the floor surface of those toes is on the mat. Your heels are reaching up to the ceiling. Squeeze the heel bones together. Reach the knees towards the floor. And 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock on the pelvis here. So tilt towards the ceiling. And now tilt down towards the mat. And tailbone reaches for the ceiling. Tailbone reaches for the mat. Tailbone reaches for the ceiling. Tailbone reaches for the mat. Tailbone reaches for the ceiling. Tailbone reaches for the mat. One more time. That, and I always feel like this always really just opens my hips up. And now place the feet on the mat. How did that one feel going into the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock there, Susan?
Felt pretty good, except I got a cramp.
Yeah. So separate your feet wider than the mat and drop your knees towards one another. And we'll go 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock here. And tailbone up towards the ceiling. And down towards the floor. And up towards the ceiling. Down towards the floor. And up, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. Now, let your right knee come up just a little bit so your left knee can drop further over. And that left knee is reaching towards your right foot right now. And then 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock here. I bet this is solving some things for you, Shannon, yeah?
Yeah, I'm on the other hip, because I
Yeah.
can't listen today, but we're about to try it on.
That's okay.
But it does feel really good.
Well, sometimes it pays to do the functional side, so your
Yeah.
dysfunctional side can figure out what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then drop the right knee in a little bit more, let the left knee come up. Reach that right knee towards your left foot. 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock here. Back to center, and now drop both knees in again, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock here, and I feel like that just kind of straightened up my sacrum. I don't know if anybody else was feeling like their sacrum was rocking on a diagonal, but mine definitely was.
Feel like I got some hip mobility
Yes,
that I haven't had.
that looks really good. Yep, walk those feet back to center. And now that we've done the internal rotation, go back to your external rotation. So again, bottoms of the feet together, heels are reaching for the ceiling. See if your openness there is better now. And 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock here.
I find I have a very small range of motion in this position.
Yes. Not unusual at all. All right, grab your ring, grab your band. Wrap that band around the hands. Pull out on the ring, pull out on the band and hold. Now reach the soft spot in the foot down towards the floor like you're standing in those stirrups. And take a break. Pull out on the ring, pull out on the band, and we'll go back and forth on those feet. So ball of the left foot, heel of the right, hold. And change. And change. And change. 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 I just felt a big connection into my left waist and change. And change. And change. And change. Take a break. Make sure those feet are right underneath of your knees. Pull out on the ring, pull out on the band, tip the tailbone up towards the knees, and peel the hips all the way up as high as is comfortable on your spine. Reaching your knees across the room. Roll that back down, starting at your sternum. Each vertebrae gets a little massage from the mat as you roll all the way down. And tipping the tailbone up to the ceiling. You're trying to lift each lumbar vertebrae off at a time as opposed to allowing it to come as a chunk. And roll it back down. Back to center. And rolling it up. Rolling it back down. And rolling it up. Right here, bring your band to your hips. Place the band on the front of the hips and press the hands down towards the mat. So now you've got your lats involved here. I want you to go ball of one foot, heel of the other, and switch. And switch. And switch. And change. 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 Last set. Change. And change. Back to center. Hands up. Rolling it back down. And rest. How we doing? Good. All right. Take the ring away. Actually, set your band off to the side. Keep your ring. Go ahead and put the right foot inside the ring and stretch your right hamstring. And switch legs. Yeah, right. And back down. Place the ring between the thighs. Feet just ear distance apart and right underneath the knees. Gives that ring a squeeze. And let's press the soft spot in the foot, standing into those stirrups there. That one's hard. And now ball of one foot, heel of the other. Switch. 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 And change. And change. Go to the ball of the foot on that left, Shannon, and just hold it there. Everybody else, you can keep going back and forth. Ball of the foot on the left, heel on the right, squeeze the ring and just hold, just keep it there. You feeling what's happening in your waist there?
Feel it rearranging itself.
Just hang out. Let it do its thing. And relax. All right, squeeze the ring. We'll do chest lift next. So squeeze the ring, hands behind the back of the head. And Reach the elbows to the corners of the room. That's what's bringing you up. And roll the chin to the throat. Exhale, fold the sternum, fold the ribs. Reach the fingertips to the ceiling. Grab the backs of those knees. Pull a little higher. Reach to the ceiling. Hands behind the back of the head. Rolling it down. And up. Reach. Round. Fold. Reach. Behind the back of the head. And back down. And curl. Reach, hands behind the backs of the knees, pull a little higher, reach, hands behind the back of the head, and down, last one, reach, up, hands behind the backs of the knees, pull, reach, hands, and back down, and rest, give those legs a good shake. And stretch those legs out. And we'll give that stretch from one end of the room to the other. So you reach those hands way overhead, reach the toes to one wall, fingertips to the opposite wall. Let your shoulders come up to your ears to stretch, stretch, stretch. And hands back down by your sides. All right, take your band, place it on the bottoms of your feet. And into your hands, thumb side preferably. Your palms are facing one another. Feet are about hip distance apart. And bring your hands right up over your shoulders and press your feet away into the band right there. So it's like you're sitting in a chair. Bend your knees a little more, Michael. Bend your knees. Bend, bend. Now, draw the knees away from you. So 90-degree flexion of the knees. 90 degrees at the knees. Bend. 90 degrees at the hips. So press your feet towards Shannon. There you go. And now take your arms right up over your chest. That's it. Now right hand comes up a little bit. Left foot pushes away a little bit. Hold.
And our arms are straight.
Yes. Okay. And switch. Right foot pushes away. Left arm comes up just a little bit. And switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. Knees in and rest. Holy smokes. How's everybody doing?
Okay.
Set your band off to the side and come back to that dead bug position again. Now, if you still had the band under the feet, you would really have to work at pushing your right foot away from you. So push that right foot away as though the band was still there. See if you can find that same hip work. And now switch. And switch. So we're doing the same thing. It's a little harder without the band, but the band kind of gave you the feeling that you need to make that work happen from the back of the body. Hold the knees in and give it a break. Is everybody able to find that same feeling without the band?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
It's-
getting easier.
It's hard. Today's just
It is.
I'm not connecting today.
Okay. All right. In that case, let's go ahead, take the right hand behind the back of the right thigh and the left hand on the front of the left thigh. And no fingertips on that left thigh. So just the heel of the hand. And push into that. And switch. And switch. and switch. Fold the knees into the chest and rock that side to side. Let's go ahead, keep your right knee into your chest, reach your left knee down, left thigh reaches long on the mat. Stretch it all the way out, pull your right knee in toward your right armpit. Bring it across to your left armpit. And right armpit, left armpit. And right, and left, and right, and left. And bring the other knee up to meet it. Stretch the right leg down. Pressing the back of the right thigh down so you get a nice stretch across the front of that other hip. And now bring that knee from the left armpit to the right. And left, and right, left, right, left, right, and left, and right, and rest it down. Give this leg a good shake. Hand behind the right knee, behind the left knee. Press the thighs into both hands and come into your chest lift position. Just hang out here. Reach those feet to the opposite wall. Your rib cage is pressing backwards towards the floor while your sacrum's lifting up to the ceiling. Thigh bones are going that way. And hold. Inhale here. Exhale, rib cage back, sacrum forward, thighs away. Inhale. Exhale, rib cage back, sacrum forward, thighs across the room. Inhale, exhale, press those sides into the hands to roll up. So what I want you to think about, we're going to do that again. Michael, I want you to think of burying your sacrum. So if you were going to bury the sacrum into all of this belly right here, you're just going to kind of press that triangle bone is going to press forward. So right here, hinge back. Tip the tailbone under and bury the sacrum forward while the rib cage reaches backwards. And then fold it up. Fold, 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 fold. And roll down. Bury the sacrum, bury the sacrum, bury the sacrum. All the way down, yes. And press the thighs away. Fold the rib cage. Fold, fold, fold. Bury the sacrum and press the thighs away. You had it better Monday night, so it's just tighter tonight, that's all. Good. That truly is about how much can you fold up. It's not about belly strength at all. So, yeah. Is it, you were here when, have you been here when I had Jamie demonstrate that? She can literally almost put her shoulders on her belly button. It's crazy looking. She has more thoracic flexion than I do, which is saying a lot because I've got a massive amount. So you can kind of see if I'm already almost on top of my pelvis right there. That makes it very easy. Now, if I were to come up and that's all the flexion I had on my spine, I'm not going anywhere with that. Yeah. So that's what you're struggling for, is to actually get the roundness out of the spine to be able to curl it up.
You don't think it's the stomach muscles that are pulling you up?
It's not. As a matter of fact, it's, for me, what I feel, where I feel the work in this is in the backs of my legs. The backs of my legs are pushing me up. It's a push as opposed to a pull.
It takes a while. I've been working with it for a whole time.
Yeah.
Something you said make your spine like a C. That helped me.
The burying the sacrum, I've got a couple of people,
Yeah.
somebody who actually has some lumbar osteoporosis in her lumbar spine, and being able to bury the sacrum forward protects those lumbar vertebrae and gives her relief on what the osteoporosis has caused in that lumbar spine for her, so. All right, let's go ahead, we're sitting, let's stretch the hips before we go down. So come to that nice long diamond position. Grab those ankles. I have to say that going through the Full Start Pilates program and then testing out, you know, Pilates has a very rote kind of, there's 32 exercises and that's it. I throw in a whole bunch of stuff to get people ready to do the 32 exercises, and a lot of times I never get. There's a whole bunch of those 32 exercises I don't think we ever get to because people can't do them. But it's because this is kind of a rehab-based program as opposed to let's go to New York City and be great. Like those people up there. Let's go ahead and reach all the way over. Try and put your nose on the floor. And try and curl it up. Try and put your nose on your belly button. This is where you can bury that sacrum forward, rib cage back. And stack that all the way up. Take the legs out to the side. But going through the Pole Star program, and then what was interesting was on the test out for it. I had Shelley Powers, who is the director for the Pilates program for Pole Star. Brent Anderson is the owner, and yeah, go ahead and put your hands back here, Michael. And here's what we're gonna do. If you're really tight through here, you're gonna tilt and tilt. And notice when you go into that 6 o'clock on the pelvis, that you feel more stretch there. And that's all you have to do. And that will begin to loosen. Yep. Right there, and tilt like you're trying to press your belly button forward. I'm going to go ahead and come this way. So if you've got the ability to put your hands up here and let gravity have that, that's good too. But you're trying to put your belly on the floor. She is probably the first person I've met that gives you permission to do what the class needs, not what the program, you know, what the road program is. And wiggle side to side here. My left hip is screwed up tonight.
My oldest did some summer camp at the Y, so I got to take a class or two and put River in the child watch, and I was like, yeah, they're not my problem.
This is not the same class.
By like everything.
Yeah.
And you just get left in the dust.
Yeah. And I just refuse to do that to anybody because so many, you know, everybody in this room has got something going on that I could in 2 seconds flat footed you. And I just refuse to do that.
Bar class. Did you feel like I was going down?
Yeah, I thought about that. All right. Gotta grab the backs of those knees and bring them in. And sit back onto the hands. Let me do the internal rotation again. This should feel different from what it usually does.
It does, big time for me.
Separate your feet a little bit more. Michael, yeah, separate them that way. Get a little bit more space. So see how my knee is not this way and crossing over, but it's a little further out from my hip. Yeah, I'm not crossing midline on it. Yep. And everybody's here is different, and that's why we work on it. You feel that right through here, don't you? Especially on this right one. Yeah. Yeah, I can actually see it wind up right through here. So this motion of the hip joint is important for walking. As you notice when you're going ball of the foot heel, and you notice that when we went to the ball of the foot, that knee wanted to come in.
And so as we
Especially
push,
when we had the ring, I was like, whoa.
yeah,
I could really tell when we had the ring.
yes, and I suspect, I would add that one in at home for you, squeezing the ring, not pulling out on it, but squeezing it
Okay.
for that left leg. All right. Turn here, short diamond. And that opens the feet together. Go ahead and hinge forward from the hip joint. Like you're trying to get that whole pelvic floor down. You won't, but hinge onto it. Now reach the knees to the floor. Draw the sits bones close together. Roof of the mouth up to the ceiling. Hold. And inhale into the rib cage here. And exhale, roof of the mouth reaches up to the ceiling, and picture an inch of space between each vertebrae from the tailbone all the way up through the back of the head. And inhale. And exhale, grow. Reach the knees to the floor. And inhale. And exhale, grow. Whoa. And rest. That one always just feels amazing. I don't know what it is with getting those deeper lateral rotators underneath of me, but it just always makes my back feel great. Take your hands, cupping water. You're going to cup your heels. And here, again, sit tall. And with those heels reaching for the ceiling, reach your knees to the floor. A little harder to stay tall here. And inhale. And exhale, knees reach for the floor, roof of the mouth reaches for the ceiling. And rest. Reach the legs out to the front. Grab your ring, grab your band, grab your feet, whichever one works for you the best. I'm going to grab the outsides of my feet here. We're going to pull ourselves into a flat back. Send one hip forward, one hip back, back and forth here. Toner plus. Ooh, Michael, those are getting longer. Yay. Ooh. I think I've only had one person that no matter how many stretches we did, this was years ago before I went to PT school. And let me tell you, I tried every trick in the book. Guy was over 6 feet tall and he just had the tightest hamstrings ever. And no matter what we did, it didn't change. It is my guess, now that I know a little bit more from PT school, that there was a coccyx involvement. So, and that it was actually nerve tension we were fighting against. All right, let's, now what the heck, let's do our footwork. So foot in the lap here. Michael, if you need to sit up on the couch for one of those, we can. Go ahead and just give that big toe a tug and circle. Circle. Right. All 5 toes over. We're going to do these real quick. And back. And hold hands with toes. We got one cramp tonight. Give them a tug. And switch. Oh, I'm sorry. Go back to that same foot. Grab the heel bone. And you're going to pull that heel away from the lower leg. So that way, going that way with it. Up there. And just point and flex that ankle there. Ooh, hello. So there's a bone here and there's a bone here. And they're very congruent. There's very little mobility between the two of them, but the mobility that's there needs to be there. They don't need to move as one bone. So by pulling off of it, And then working through that ankle circle, we actually get them to move independent of one another, as opposed to one big chunk. All right, now switch feet. Start with the big toe. Give it a tug and circle one way. Circle the other. And all 5 toes over. And pull them back. And lace the fingers in. Tell Linda we miss her. And from here, grab that heel bump. I kind of got a thumb right here, and then my fingers underneath of it. And now circle there. Good. All right, let's come down on your belly. Hold up the hands underneath the forehead. This is all about the length of the spine. So if when you go to let the legs hover, you feel that lumbar spine shrink, just don't lift the legs. So inhale here. Exhale, sacrum presses forward, thigh bones reach for the ceiling, belly button reaches up, rib cage comes away from the mat, and now lengthen to that hover. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's go ahead and turn the thighs out so the knees point to the sides of the room and squeeze the thighs together here. And little thigh beats. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 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 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Last set. 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 5. And rest it down. I squashed my blueberry. I'll just go ahead and admit it. All right. From here, go ahead and come up onto your elbows in that Sphinx position. Press the elbows and the hands into the mat and then pull forward like you're trying to pull yourself forward on the mat. Hold that. Reach your right leg, kick the seat. Kick 1, kick 2, push it long, push it down, and 1, 2, reach and down. Right 2, reach. Left 2, reach. Right 2, reach. Left 2. So Shannon, is your heel coming straight to your seat on that left side? Or do you feel like it wants to go to the other side? Let's see. And right 2. And left 2.
I think it's
Doing pretty
doing
good.
it now that I'm really thinking about it.
Okay, yep. 2 and reach. And left 2, reach, and rest it down. And press back into a child's pose here.
I'm just trying to figure out how I'm getting my thigh off. It's like it doesn't want to come off. Is
Yeah,
that
that's where
okay?
the hip extension, you just are limited in your range of motion, and that's okay.
Okay,
Just use what you've got.
okay.
Don't try and bypass it, because that just goes right into lumbar then.
Okay.
And boogie board here, send the hips to one side. Hips to the other side. Back and forth here. Little kneecap mobilization.
Also a good hip lobe. And roll that up. So have Heather and Tracy threatened to quit yet?
I don't know, not that I know of, but probably.
They're probably a lot,
Yeah.
yeah, they probably don't talk about it as much yet. It will happen
Yeah.
because it gets bad. It gets bad. So I'm surprised at her trying to manipulate paychecks as quickly as she did.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know the contract says this, but no, the contract says this, and that's what you're gonna pay me.
So you know what's happened with them too? Oh, okay. No,
Little
they,
bits and pieces, yeah. Yeah, it's not pretty. All right, hands and knees. The manager there, bless her heart, her meds just aren't working. And press the hands into the floor. Now try and pull the hands towards your knees. That makes your shoulders want to come forward. Let them come forward. Push your hands to the front edge of your mat. That makes your hips want to drop back. Let it come back a little bit. And pull. Shoulders come forward. Push. Let the shoulders go back. Pull. Let the shoulders come forward. Push. Let the shoulders come back. Pull. Let the shoulders come forward. And push. We're going to play with that for just a second. Notice that when you pull, it tends to make you want to arch your back, like an extension moment here. So right here, as you come forward, go ahead and go into that camel back where you're arching the back. And now push, and that tends to make you want to curl up. So go ahead and curl and let your shoulders come back. Pull, go into that camel back and let it come forward. Push, let it curl into your cat spine and come back. Right here, go ahead and push on the knees and let your hips come forward. Pull your knees towards your hands and let your hips come back. Push towards your feet. That makes you want to go to camelback. So go ahead and let your back come forward into camelback. Pull towards your hands. That makes you want to go into cat spine. Go into that cat spine and let the hips drop back. Push. This is a lot. So if you just want to do the isometric, you can. Pull, curl and come back. Push. Let the hips come forward into camelback. Pull. Let the hips drop back into cat spine. And all the way into that child's pose again. Reach those hands way out to the front. Walk your hands to one side. And flip that one palm up. So you feel that extra stretch. So if you are off to the left, you want to flip the right palm up. Walk your hands to the opposite side and flip the left palm up. So if you're off to the right, your left palm is up. That helps, doesn't it, Shannon?
Mm-hmm.
And come back to center and peel that all the way up. All right, come back to your quadruped. Lift the right hand and the left knee just a half an inch. Reach that out nice and long. I don't know what we missed the other night, but we ended up with all this extra time and we're not going to have it tonight. And rest it down. Lift the left hand and the right knee. And now reach it out long. So if the balance is already difficult, just leave the hand and the leg here. And rest it down. Shift everything to the left side. Open out the right side. Lift that top leg. Anybody up for some extra? Put that right foot down. stand into that right foot and stretch your left leg behind it.
No, I don't think so.
And good, that's it. And knee back down and take a break. That was good, Megan. We had one take our 10 seconds. Well, and this side's always interesting. I never know what my rib cage is gonna do on this side. And if the rib cage goes wonky, my elbow or my shoulder will go wonky. Shift everything to the right, open up the left side. Lift that leg. Good. Knit to the width. So make your arms as wide as you can. If you like, put that top foot down, reach the bottom leg out behind it. Do a big side plank. And knee down. And rest. You want to see that one more time? I saw you look. Did you want to see it?
Yeah, because I think when I was listening, I don't think I was getting
Yeah.
what you were
So
saying.
you open, just like you normally do.
Yeah,
There. Now, here, put that foot down.
okay,
Whole foot on the floor. You're gonna
Alright.
stand on it.
okay.
Slide the other foot out behind. Yeah. That's it.
Good job.
Sorry, I almost smashed you, didn't I?
Right.
Oh.
Good. All right, grab your band. Let's come to tall kneeling. I feel like we got a massive amount done tonight, but we're not getting done tonight. Wrap your band around the hands here. And so nice and tall here. I want you to bury your sacrum forward into all your belly muscles. That makes these hip bones drop down and back. Now reach your thigh bones to the back wall. And from here, take the arms up and open it out. One. Hold. Turn the head to the right. Turn the head to the left. Head right. Head left. Head right. Shannon, you're going to leave your head on the right. Turn your head to the right. Leave it on the right. Let that fix your right shoulder blade. Think sacrum forward.
Okay.
Now you're twisted to the right. Bring your rib cage back to the front. There you go. Don't fake yourself out thinking.
Yeah.
Now drop your chin down a little bit and lengthen the back of your neck. There you go.
Very good.
Yeah. If you have one shoulder or the other that you know is a little dysfunctional, just hang out on that particular rotation and it will settle the shoulder blade into place. And take a break.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's
for
what I
now.
needed.
Yeah.
The hips
Yeah.
doing, it's always either
So-
the hip or the shoulder.
Yeah, so what happens is when you go here, that's what your body wants to do,
Okay.
is drop back into that. Really separate the rib cage itself from the shoulder girdle that's sitting on top of it. So while the shoulder girdle is coming back, you want the rib cage to come forward. So that motion right there is separate from this motion.
Yeah.
So this comes around here. Well, that goes back onto it. And then if you turn the head, just turn it, it doesn't take a big turn to start setting up that neurological reset.
Okay.
All right. Keep your band, but put it in the hands this way. And let's go ahead and take one foot out to the front. Roll that tailbone under, so you're tilting into that 6 o'clock. Michael, if you want to hold on to the foosball table, because this is a stretch for this, so you can't be here. You want to be able to really roll that under. So I want you to stretch all the way down the front of that back leg. Yeah. And now let's see if this helps with the balance. Go ahead and reach that out to the sides. Another good one. Turn the palms to the back wall. Turn the palms up. Back wall. And up. Back wall. And up. And rest. Switch legs.
That right one is like Rice Krispies.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And roll that tailbone under. Reach that out to the side. And palms to the back wall. Palms up. The work here is actually in the reach, not the rotation. So really reach, reach, reach until your fingertips get a little bit of an ache.
Is it?
Little ache, yep. That ache going down the arms is actually nerve tension. Because we just stretch the nervous system to its full length. And rest. Adding that with whatever's going on down here, I don't know what it does, but that right shoulder, the front of that right shoulder doesn't pop. Yeah, when I do it, so I don't know what that's about. Set that off to the side. Let's go to that fencer stretch. So now it's off to the, and take it pretty far away from you, yeah. And now leaning into that front foot. You want to stretch right here, so you kind of lean.
Stretch.
There's a stretch here and a stretch here. It's a really good one for you. Think of this thigh bone rotating and dropping down. So it's like into that. Switch sides. Roll tip the tailbone to that 12 o'clock and now into that. My one that doesn't like to roll down and into the socket. And it's just all bunches right here.
I really feel the stretch on this. It's supposed to go this way.
Yes. You're gonna come down and back into, you want the femur bone to drop into the posterior socket, that posterior capsule back there. So right here, Megan, you got your hand up here and you've got a lot of arch coming here. I want you to put your hand lower on the leg bone. Yes. Now tip the tailbone under and think of the hinge coming there. Yes. And back up. Yeah. There you go. All right. And let's go ahead and stretch those heel cords. Last thing. Least aggressive. So tuck your toes under so the bottoms of your toes are getting stretched. There you go, Michael. Least aggressive. Hang out there. There you go. It's okay. Remember, I made my paycheck doing that. So. And sit back onto the heels. Keep the tailbone up to the ceiling. Our air conditioner cut out on us.
I think so.
Tip the tailbone to the floor, sits bones drip to the floor, and roll that all the way up. The first time I've been able to do that this week without having to catch on the way up. Yeah, nice and tall, come off the mat. Heels together, toes apart. A little V. Think of one line from the heel bones up through the back of the head, sacrum's coming forward, thigh bones reaching back against that and squeezing together, and up we go. Keep the hips up and reach the heels for the floor. It's the only one we're going to do tonight. And rest. All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
I meant to do a walking program, but we ran out of time, so maybe we'll get to that next week.
Well, I have started doing this one when I go out for my walk.
I do this now before I start walking.
I
To
love
get
it.
it loosened
Yeah.
up a little bit.
I love it.
Remind it what it's supposed to do.
Are you recording this class?
Mhm.
I hope that it's,
I can,
great if you could post that.
I will post this one.
Cause I feel like that really was helpful.